Welcome back. In this video tutorial, we'll be covering the video interface. If you haven't done so already, we've created a new appointment with the virtual location selected. If you're wondering about these details, check out the previous video, Making a Virtual Appointment. Once you've done that, you can either click on Virtual in the Locations list of appointment details, or navigate to Appointment Details and click on Join Video Session. And when you click on that, hi there, you're able to see your own video preview and a microphone preview as you're talking. If this is the first time you're seeing our virtual care interface, there's a few things we'll go over before going into the depth of it, but I recommend checking out the Test Your Connection video and making sure your browser permissions are enabled for the Adracare app. If you're wondering about that, we have some support articles, but you can check those in the top left-hand corner of your screen in Google Chrome and in your settings for other browsers. As I'm talking, you're going to be able to see that there is a camera preview as well as a microphone preview. Both of those are essentially going to indicate that your browser is enabling video and audio permissions. There are three drop-downs here where you can view that there is camera, speaker, which is your audio output, and microphone, which is your audio input, devices. You can change any of these devices in case something isn't showing up or the right device isn't picking up what you want by clicking on the drop-down and changing to the options. You can also test your connection. Now, you can do some of these things inside of the virtual test session as well. And if you've already enabled these permissions or have a good setup you already want, it should already appear here. Let's say it's 15 minutes before my appointment and I know my patient hasn't gotten here. You can always check if the patient has joined the session or not because it'll show their name and also in the session. When ready, I'm going to click to join call, and then I'll be able to join the call. You can see that your video preview is going to be on the top right here, and then the patient or client's video will appear here. Now, at any given time, you're able to see one of two things going on. You're able to see the video on the left and this panel on the right, which contains a wide variety of different functions and features. Yours may look differently than mine, as you may be using the basic plan, which may not have the same functionalities. We'll still review everything just in case. If I ever want to ignore the panel on the right-hand side, I can click on this button at the top here to change to full screen. This way I can maximize the preview of my patient or client so that I don't have to worry about looking at my notes while I'm talking to them face-to-face. The patient also has this button accessible. If you ever need to bring back that panel, you can click Toggle Full Screen again. These buttons down here are pretty standard in how they interact with the video call. You may have seen them from other applications such as Zoom or Google Meet. Microphone on-off and camera on-off allow you to toggle your microphone and camera input. So as you see right here, I've toggled my camera off, and I can re-enable either one of these separately depending on what I need. You can share secure documents using our document sharing, and you may have seen this in some other video tutorials. But if I click on Select New File, I can click on a document to upload, and then I can share that document with my patient. You can upload as many documents as you want, but the single document limit is 20 megabytes. When a document's uploaded either by yourself or your client or patient, a notification will appear at the top right, just like it did a second ago. I can change my camera feed as well by clicking on this Change Camera button. Now, this is more useful for tablet or mobile devices or devices with multiple cameras. Some laptops may experience difficulty when clicking on this button as they have an IR depth of field camera, or you may be swapping to a different webcam that you don't want to. So if you're on desktop, you can probably ignore this button unless you have a specific setup that involves multicam. On hold allows you to pause your video and audio, and the patient will see an on hold message. You can update your settings and view some support links by clicking on this gear icon for settings and support. Refresh connection is also a useful button because if you're having any issues with your connectivity, you can click on refresh connection and it will refresh the video without asking you to leave the video call. This is exceptionally useful in case you don't want to interrupt your video session, but you just want to renew your connection. And then lastly, share screen. I'm not going to click on this because I'm recording a video session at the moment, and it may not have the best results when recording the training video, but it will allow you to use the same share screen functionality as your current browser. This may be in Google Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. The right panel over here covers 4 major things: notes, profile, messages, and participants. Now, all of these have been functionalities we've covered in previous videos, so the interfaces should look pretty similar. Notes gives you the ability to take in-session notes with templates and write as you need to in the note. This note will be associated to your appointment, so you don't have to worry about it getting lost, and will save to the patient's profile so that you don't have to worry about being exported to somewhere else or having to save it. If you were to hang up your call on accident or navigate to another tab, autosave will kick in until you've completed the note. Speaking about another tab, the Profile tab allows you to view the patient's profile in a more organized sideline approach, similar to session notes. Messages allows you to view a list of connections that have happened during your call, as well as send secure messages. These messages are things that the patient can see and interact with. And lastly, the participants table, similar to booking a new appointment. You can click on the patient's name to bring up a preview of the patient's profile. You may not be able to see this because I'm sharing just the window. You can add new participants or add guests by typing in their email and then clicking invite. Lastly, there is a small green circle in the bottom here. That is not how you can communicate with your patient. It's actually a support window where you can reach out to the Adracare team and then voice concerns or current issues that are going on with your video audio, video quality, or other issues with the interface. It's platform-wide, but we surface it here in the video on the left-hand side. When you're done your video call, click on Leave Call. And it won't automatically let you leave the call, but your video and audio have stopped at this point. You can click on Leave Call to interrupt your video session and come back at a later time. You can mark the patient as a no-show, which closes the appointment and marks the appointment as a no-show, or you can click on Complete Appointment, which concludes the appointment, marks it as complete, and pretty much allows it to be done so that patients can't come back to it. You can also leave notes for the patient for the session. When you're finished, we did complete appointment, so to list complete appointment, you'll be navigated back to the appointment details page. Patients will be navigated to a screen that says you're done your appointment. You can feel free to close this window.